Finolex Industries, that's the stock in focus. Post their Q4 numbers. To understand what's the way ahead, we're joined by Mr. Ajit Venkataraman, who is the managing director of the company. Hi, Ajit. Good morning, and always good to see you in. Well, volume growth actually has surprised positively. Could you tell us from where did this growth come? Break it up for us. How much of it was from agri as well as the plumbing business?
So overall, the volume has been fairly robust. We have grown over 11% in terms of volume in FY24. And it has been on the back of good performance in the non-agri segment, which has grown over 15%.
Right. So non-agri has grown 15% for the year?
That's right.
And for Q4, if you want to split that up for us between agri and non-agri?
No, in terms of agri, it is in the higher single digits. And for non-agri, it will be in the higher double digits, in the teens.
That's for the fourth quarter or for the full year?
And that's for the fourth quarter especially, and overall for the year as well.
All right. So now the question is, what's your outlook for the next year? Because, a lot of people are saying that maybe there is a bit of a pickup in rural India. Agri accounts for about 70% of your sales out there. What's the outlook for FY25 when it comes to volumes? If you could give us a sense of how much are you expecting in agri and non-agri?
We do not split up both agri and non-agri. Overall, we expect the market to be anywhere between 10 and 15%. And that is the CAGR that we expect over the next 5 years.
Okay. And so yours would be how much if the market is 10 to 15%?
See, we expect the non-agri to be a little bit more aggressive for us. And agri will be in the normal higher single digit.
So on a blended basis, sir, what is the volume growth that we should work with for Finolex Industries? The industry grows by 10 to 15%. You outpace the industry?
We expect it to be in the same range.
Okay.
Non-agri to be growing a little bit faster.
Got it. All right. So we've pretty much got that out of the way. Give us a few more details. The volume number we have. What about margins? What should the margin band look like?
So margins for the year, if you see, it has gone from FY23 11 rupees per kg on a blended average to about 13 rupees, over 13 rupees. So there is a significant improvement in margins as well. And this is on the back of efficiency, improvements in efficiency, and also in terms of the product mix.
And this is the range which is likely to continue, or will it see improvements from current levels?
We expect it to see a little bit of an improvement as we go along when the non-agri to agri mix improves.
So that's about 14, 15 rupees. I mean, if you could give us a sense of, what's the per unit margin that you generate in both agri and non-agri, and given non-agri is likely to grow faster.
We normally don't split that up. But the non-agri margins are better than the agri margins.
All right. And what about the PVC resin business? For FY24, you managed to grow, rather for FY24, there was a decline of 18% in the volumes. For the fourth quarter, you managed to grow about 19%. Are things improving there? What's the outlook for this year in the PVC business, resin business?
So in the PVC business, we did see certain supply chain issues in the first half of the year. That resulted in raw material shortages, and that resulted in lower volumes. So we expect that is behind us, but you never know with the situation in the Middle East. So that is something which we are constantly keeping an eye on. But we expect that it should be around the same range, about 230,000 metric tons for this year as well.
Okay. All right. Mr. Venkataraman, what about the cash in the books? How much is it? And how do you plan on utilizing it? Potential for a buyback, a large dividend payout, what could you do with it?
So we have a very good cash balance, and that also will be bolstered this quarter by the land sale which we have done. So given overall, yes, the cash balance is robust, and we are looking for expansions because in the next couple of years, we will have issues with capacity, and therefore we are looking actively on that. Whatever is not used for expansion will be returned back to the shareholders.
Okay, and currently you're at what? I think your total capacity you had mentioned last time was around 4.7 lakh, right?
That's correct.
And you're currently functioning at what, 70%, 75%?
Close to 70% utilization.
Got it. I had this query with regards, since you mentioned about this land sale. The street is a buzz that maybe the promoter entity is, they are coming, they're looking at coming to some kind of an agreement. And I say this is because there was no objection. We are aware that the promoters, they are currently in the courts. Is there a possibility that there will be some kind of agreement between both the promoters and some clearing out of these cross holdings, which will be good because that clears out one of those headwinds from a stock market perspective?
See, as management, we do not get into the issues with the family, and therefore that doesn't impact any of our operations, and we stay away from it.
Right, but if there was some kind of debate, then maybe one of the promoters would object to this land sale, which didn't happen in this case. So that's why the street is hopeful that maybe we'll see some kind of, agreement between both the parties. Your comment?
I will not be able to comment on this because this is completely related to the families.
Right. And is there any more land that could be then up for sale at some point in time, which is not according to you?
We do have 10 more acres of land, and we are evaluating that.
You are evaluating. And what would be the rough value of land per acre in the area where you hold land?
Approximately the same that we had sold the last parcel.
All right. And no question of merging the two listed entities as well, Finolex Cables and Finolex Industries. Do you see any synergies there?
See, as I mentioned, we are involved with the management of Finolex Industries, and we do not get into the management of other companies.
Okay, the last sale that you did of land, 25 acres were done at 470 crores. That's the broad number, right?
That's right.
So if you have 10 more acres, it should be, it should roughly be 180 to 200 crores of value, going by the same valuation?
Approximately, yes.
Can we hear about it in this fiscal?
It's too early to comment on that. But right now, it is the 25 acre parcel is what has been sold.
All right, Mr. Venkataraman, thanks a lot for joining and fielding all our questions and giving us guidance in terms of the operational performance. We'll wait to see whether or not, the promoter entity can come to some kind of understanding. That could be an additional trigger for this year. Appreciate you joining in and filling us in with the guidance for the year. Well, let's move on then. Let's shift focus